Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here, returning to you for another movie review for another 2024 release for Horizon, uh, an American Saga Chapter 1 that I got a chance to watch for myself. See what I was going to think of this 181-minute movie, which is 3 hours and a minute. So I'm going to discuss what I watched for the Kevin Costner movie and let you know my thoughts on this film overall for this 3 hours and a minute. So let's dive into this movie review. I know I had to spend a little bit of the day watching it. And sorry about the background noise. It's my phone with a text message. I don't know. Some things like, oh, will you vote for this person? I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now. Which I'm not going to get into political stuff. It's just, that's what is messaging me. But other than that, this Kevin Costner movie was kind of meh. I wasn't that much of a fan of it, to be honest. I mean, the dialogue was interesting, don't get me wrong. It had an interesting concept to it. The problem is, did most of the scenes execute very well? They were a bit slow and draggish, and it didn't really explain too much. That I was starting to get into it, but I wasn't really comprehending what it's trying to tell the viewer. Like, it explains the gun scene, it explains a certain dialogue that's vital to the story. The story has it's not very vital to what it's trying to present itself. It has the idea, but it doesn't execute with the presentation of what this movie is trying to depict about. What the story is trying to tell you. It's thrown all in there for 3 hours and a minute. And it has interesting dialogue, don't get me wrong, but this movie is kind of performance-wise meh. It doesn't offer too much. It was very fucking long, to keep that in mind. And Kevin Costner is a good actor. His performance was great. Most of the performances were great. It's just the execution was the main thing with this movie that it lacked. Because some of the scenes were drawn out. They were slow paced. The build up was not getting to be my interest. So this movie is kind of meh. It's not one of the worst movies this year. It's not one of the best movies this year. So, if I were to give this movie its deserved score, I'm thinking a slight 6 out of 10 is deserving for this film. It's kind of meh. I'm in the middle with this one. I don't hate this movie. I think Kevin Costner's performance was outstanding in this film. And Sam Worthington in the film, he wasn't terrible in this film. His performance was pretty strong. And some of the other performances were pretty outstanding. The one performance, not pretty much most of the performances were pretty strong. It's just the execution was the main thing with the film. It was slow paced of a movie. It dragged out for 3 hours and a minute, and then it builds up to the ending where you see more scenes for the upcoming films, Chapter 2, 3, and 4. That is soon to be happening. So there's going to be more Horizon movies. But the problem is, will it see the light of day? With this movie's reception, I can understand why it may not see the light of day for 2, 3, and 4. But we'll just have to wait and see. If they do Chapter 2, that's fine. And 3 and 4. They're not terrible movies. The dialogue's there. But does it perform very well is a thing. And it's very slow paced and very dragged out, this movie. And that was a big issue I had. The pacing was an issue I had with this film. Because it dragged so fucking long and it felt like a dull experience to watch through at times. But then there were some other times where I'm like, what the fuck is this story trying to prove to an audience? Sorry about the background noise. My nephew's throwing a fit. But to end it off, I think the movie had the idea, but the execution failed. it failed to execute, basically, with certain scenes. But overall, 6 out of 10 for Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. Hope you enjoyed this movie review this afternoon. Sorry about the background noise with my nephew screaming. I don't know, he's just throwing a fit, as always. But with that being said, thanks for watching the review.